Welcome back to Irrelevance.
Welcome back to the show.
Yeah. The only podcast out there right now. Everybody's on strike, all the podcasters.
They're all on strike, so
We're the only ones.
come on down.
Yeah, come on down.
Water's nice.
Yep, everyone's on strike right now. If you're working, go on strike.
Yeah.
But, number 12 of the infamous Irrelevance podcast. What are you up to?
Oh, nothing, man. Just same old shit.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Moved in?
Yeah, moved into the new place on Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Still
Congrats.
still getting a few things, some minor details wrapped up.
Nice.
But yeah, it's nice, man.
Yeah.
Picked up my daughters yesterday after work.
Okay.
Hit the pool.
Yeah?
Hit
Immediately?
The pool. Yeah, this place, when you look at it, it's like a resort. It's so
nice.
well manicured.
What is that, 65 and up?
Nice. This one's actually 70.
70.
So I slid right in there.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's nice, dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's super nice. 2 swimming pools.
And it's needed.
Huh?
The pool?
It's
Is it packed when you go?
no.
No?
So the day I was moving in, the office told me, so we're trying something new, to where people would have parties in the pool area because they have the whole kitchen area. It's all brand new, and so they said people would kind of abuse it. So now what they do is they rent it for parties.
Ooh.
So they were having a birthday party, and there was like 30 people there. So it was maybe a little more. I don't know,
But you're able to use the pool, just not the...
yeah, if you want to go swimming, you can go to the other one.
Oh, okay.
That's the beauty of having 2.
Yes.
So yeah, man, it was cool. So we hit the pool yesterday and felt so fucking nice, nice and refreshing. And
awesome.
yeah, man, just
Haven't been in a pool in so long.
really.
Yeah. Or the ocean.
When's the last time you were in a pool?
I think I was in an ocean before.
Do you not like swimming, or?
I enjoy swimming. I just don't. I like hot tub. I hate cold water.
So
doesn't make
I mean,
sense
when
to
it's
me.
100 degrees out, you want to still be in a hot tub?
I'd rather be in the air conditioner. Or air conditioning.
Oh, fucking the pool's like wet air conditioning.
Yeah, but
You just
not
hang out
really.
underwater.
Then you get sunburn, and then you have to deal with that.
God. You're like a fucking.
Then you get skin cancer.
When it
and then
comes
you
to
have deal with
water,
that.
you're like a swimming Karen.
A lot of people die from water.
Yeah,
Like drinking it, swimming in it. Like water is fucking dangerous. I don't know if we should use it.
well, just go swimming with a helmet on so you don't hit your head.
I should get one of those like old submarine suits or whatever, to where it's like all metal.
Yeah,
You know, and it's like you look like a cyclops.
oh yeah.
I should get one of those.
Well, you just
to go
better hope
swimming.
that thing
I'm
doesn't-
just like at the bottom. Just
Yeah, you better hope that shit doesn't collapse like the submarine.
yeah, probably.
Just starts crushing in on you.
Honestly, I think those suits have done more trips down to the ocean than the fucking
Yeah, they
ocean
need to go
gate.
back to that.
Yeah.
I think the U.S. Navy should go back
They should
to
have
that.
at least been wearing those on the submarine.
Yeah, just we like to call these Plan B.
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah. So
Yeah, this episode's going to be a little bit different. You know? In recent news, there was a man who's been arrested, but I'm very fascinated with this story.
yeah, it's a good one.
I wouldn't say I grew up with the story, but when I was like around 18 or something, I knew very well of what happened, what was going on, and it was going through the trial. It was probably one of the first like American crime stories that I watched. Watched the trial as it unfolded.
Yeah.
But in recent news, there's a man who went by Variety Jones and or plural Mongoose.
Yeah, plural Mongoose,
Yeah.
Variety Jones.
Yeah.
He was just arrested July 11th.
Mm-hmm.
But the crazy thing about it is he was the number 2 guy.
Yeah.
And the number 1 guy
Got
was
arre-
arrested 10 years ago.
10 years ago, and his trial was quick.
Yeah.
Quick, but this guy, he was also able to, you know, evade American laws by, you know, being from a different country, living in a different country, going from country to country, but eventually got extradited to the U.S. and trialed by New York City.
So basically, America. What this episode's going to be about, this is called the Silk Road, which was...
It's basically how the U.S. Postal Service became the biggest drug dealers in America.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not going to be able to tell the story...
Not to its fullest. If you... What we're basing all of our knowledge off of is... there's a podcast called Case Files to where they did a Silk Road 3-part series that is based off of a book, American Kingpin, which I recently just finished, which was really good, by Nick Bolton, I believe.
Yeah.
American Kingpin, The Rise and Fall of Silk Road, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Silk Road, some people may not know of it. It wasn't covered. I remember, like, you know, turning on the news and being like, how is this not the main story right now?
Yeah.
About how it come out a website.
So why don't you tell everybody basically a little bit about what exactly the Silk Road was?
Well, the Silk Road was first of its kind in its way of that it was an anonymous website that you were able to buy any item you ever imagined, specifically illicit items that were illegal.
Yes.
But you could buy them without the knowledge of the government.
Yes.
Without the government knowing. It was supposed to be completely untraceable, the site and the way you interacted with it, which is Bitcoin. Like, this was one of the... I don't want to say the first uses of it, but it was a huge use of, like, when the Silk Road eventually got shut down, the Bitcoin crashed for a little. Like, it was a complete, like, drop in the Bitcoin's price. It eventually, you know, came back, but Bitcoin was the way that you were able to buy these so-called illicit items. You know, at the time when Bitcoin came out, it was brand new and it was completely untraceable to the government.
Yeah.
To where the government they have no idea what it was brand new. And a man called Dread Pirate Roberts or Ross Albright came along at the right time, or kind of came before, you know. He made a website, and at the right time, Bitcoin was made, and he finally found the way you could buy
it was perfect
item.
timing.
Perfect timing.
Because, I mean, he came out with this website.
I think he was making it. And then, like, the whole question he had is, like, how could you possibly pay for something online without the government knowing?
So, and this guy, he was a real smart, intelligent guy.
Yeah, wasn't no background in
just
computer science or anything that came to computers.
So this all started taking place in 2011. He wanted to be an entrepreneur, which he basically became
one of the best.
Yeah, and he came out with this website on the dark web, which was actually a computer program that was designed by the United States Navy.
Yeah, using the Tor browser.
Yes. So he, the first item that he put on there was
something he made.
Some mushrooms.
Yeah, because he made the website, and then, and you know, during that whole time, he's like, I don't know, I believe he was in college at the time, up in Penn State.
Yes.
Like, he was in Penn State, and he, like, just had this... He was a huge libertarian, so he had this whole view on that a citizen of whatever country should be able to use any substance or anything they wanted to. It should be anything somebody wants to put in their body, the government should have no say.
Yeah, it's entirely up to you. You should be able to do what you want to do with your body.
Yes. And that is what his goal was.
Yeah.
So he made a website to where you could buy anything and put whatever you wanted into your body.
So the thing that was crazy, it kind of started off slow with him selling on the on Silk Road.
Yes.
But then there was...
Because he made, what was it? He grew 10 pounds of shrooms or some shit?
Yeah, and then he posted that on there as a guy, not knowing that he was the guy running the site, but as a person asking questions. Yeah, as a vendor asking questions, but he was really basically self-promoting it without people knowing.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So he went on this website called Shroomery.
Yes.
It was a cultivation of shrooms, like how you grow shrooms.
Yeah.
And he went on there with, I believe it was Altoid.
Yes,
that was his name. His name he used in Altoid. And he made a bunch of different... this was after he made the website and he was trying to promote it. He's like, I made it. It's up. Like, now how do I get people?
Yeah.
So he had made his shrooms or whatever, listed it, and now it was time to fucking old-fashioned market.
Yeah.
Like, go out there and push your shit.
Yeah.
And he went out there anonymously saying, like, hey, have you heard about this so-called Silk Road to where you could buy whatever you want? And slowly, within 6 months, I believe, they had...
Well, yeah,
they had over 1,000 users, maybe, and
and then
like
that reporter.
Yeah, so that was like around 6 months after. So they had made all this, and 3 months in, Ross is looking for some developers or something to help work on the site. He ends up finding that. Because before he was working on the site, and I guess like there's only 2 people he was smart. He was very smart. He had a bachelor's degree in some type of physics in University of Texas, I believe. A bachelor's degree in physics at the University of Texas, and a master's degree in materials science from Penn State. So dude's smart, but when it comes to, he's self-taught when it comes to programming and all this. So the only 2 people he's told was a girl, and then one of his buddies that he needed help working on it. But he never told him until later on when he asked to. But, the site was going on for around... it started off good. More and more people just started, and then...
And then what really blew it up, though, was when that reporter...
Yeah, something like Roy Chen or something like that.
He printed it, and what was the name of his publication?
Gawker.
Yeah, Gawker. Out of, I think it was New York, right?
Something, I believe so.
And after that, and...
Well, he contacted Ross.
Well, no, Ross contacted him. And was asking him not to publish the story.
I thought Ross said, hey, I'm going to release it. And he said, please don't. And then he said, okay, the only way. He did an interview. Yeah. That's how I thought it went.
Yeah, no, Ross contacted him asking him not to publish it. Yeah. But he said, no, I'm going to do it. The reporter said, no, I'm going to publish it.
Well, then how did he find out about him doing an article?
So how did that go?
Because I could have sworn that he said, hey, I'm going to do an article. Do you want to do a word? And he said, could you push it?
Well, on
some shit like
on,
that.
That case files?
Yeah, he said that Ross hit him up?
Yes.
Okay.
And was asking him not to do it, and the guy said, no, I'm going to go through with it.
Yeah, I remember that.
But the thing is that actually helped him.
Yeah.
Because it went from 1,000 to 10,000, like, quickly. So...
And, like, Ross was, like, or DPR, or no, at that point it was Ross. It wasn't even DPR. It was Silk Road Admin.
Yeah.
And then he, at that point, he had made, what is it? Oh, shit. I forgot where I was. What were we just talking about?
We were talking about the reporter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the reporter. Yeah, he had a bunch of just different listings that started to pop up from any single drug you could think of after that article. Like, there was vendors, there was users, there was everything. But during that whole time is, like, 6 months in, especially after the article, that's when you start having law enforcement.
Yeah.
That's when the law enforcement starts looking, because
Yeah, so what happened was... So after that article was printed, you had, at the time, Senator Chuck Schumer saying, hey, we need to shut this down, get a hold of the DOJ, and we need to take this guy down. But nothing really ever came of it at that point.
Yeah.
Because that was
It wouldn't
still
be until, what, 2 years later?
2 years later.
Yep.
I mean, this guy had vendors. I mean, he had it so set up. I mean,
Like some of the stuff that they offered were drugs, digital goods, as in hacking softwares, different accounts, credit cards. They had, yeah, like I said, any drug you could think of, e-books, whatever, fucking. But the one that was crazy that not a lot of them do, or no one has done since, is the weapons.
yeah.
Like he was the first one to do it,
Yeah.
and put weapons within. So
Yeah.
you were able to buy, they said Uzi, Glock to a rocket
Everything.
launcher you could buy.
So basically, as far as the drug part of it goes, you get a hold of this guy through the website, and it's like they explain, it's like Amazon.
Yeah.
You order a package.
But it wasn't, no, you didn't contact DPR.
No, well,
It was like you go on there.
The
and
vendor.
it looks like Amazon. Like
Yeah.
you go on and be like, "Ooh, I want to add this to my
and
cart."
you can have it sent to your house, to a PO box, wherever you wanted to send it.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, and there was people all over the world selling this stuff.
It was just imagine, instead of you working your way up as a drug dealer and then you meet Pablo Escobar. Just imagine you were like, I want a drug deal today. You
Yeah.
go online and there he is, Pablo Escobar.
Yeah,
Say hello, buy whatever you want from Pablo.
yeah,
Like that. That's how it worked. But it was
yeah. It's pretty crazy, man, with that.
But the goal of Ross Albright was to alleviate. It was a harm reduction. That
Yeah.
was his whole thing.
Yeah,
Is that he wanted this website to alleviate the whole dealing of drugs on the street, to where there was never a risk of you.
you go into the dope
Yeah.
house and them fucking robbing you.
Yeah, you have a better chance of getting cleaner drugs because you're getting it. You're looking at, I want my drugs from the Netherlands or wherever. Like you're looking at where you want it from. You're looking at the source. Like,
yeah,
So in a way, it's in a way, it's harm reduction. But you also have people that just don't know self-control.
Yeah.
Like, of course, there's going to be overdose. Like, within the trial of Ross Albright, the prosecution brought in family members of people that have overdosed on there, and I thought that was messed up because it's like, have you ever brought in I'm sure they actually have. It's drug dealers and the people they've harmed.
Hey, you know what? One of my favorite parts about the story was when he was talking about a rating system. So, because the girl was saying, what if
somebody dies?
yeah, what if somebody dies? He's like, well, the great thing about it is we have a rating system.
Yeah.
So 10 being the best and 1 being bad, if somebody overdoses, you can give us a rating of 1.
Yeah.
And she says, how are they supposed to give you a rating if they're dead?
yeah, 100%.
But the story is so fascinating, though, because,
It has to be the most money of a drug dealer making with not even because it's hard to call Ross Albright a drug dealer when all he did was make a platform.
yeah,
Sure, and again, we are not going to tell this story in full. There's way more details. Like I said, case files, the 3-hour podcast that they've done, American Kingpin, the book, 12 hours, if audiobook wise. We are not going to tell it in full. But what we can tell you is the most interesting facts that has happened.
yeah,
And yeah, it's insane to think about how much money that was made within such a short period
2
amount of
years.
time. 2 years. It is said to have, within those 2 years and when Bitcoin was there, that the revenue was around $1.2 billion.
Yeah, billion with a B.
Yeah.
1.2 billion
2 years.
in a 2-year period.
I actually saw something else. There's an Asian guy that stole Bitcoins from there and recently just got taken down. And the amount of Bitcoins it was worth today was $3.3 billion.
That's insane.
So with Variety Jones being arrested, I would say that is pretty much the last of the Silk Road.
Yeah.
Finally being incarcerated.
Yeah. So, and with this guy, the interesting thing with this guy is he ended up getting in contact with Ross and kind of becoming his number 2 guy.
Yes.
And he just introduced him to a whole nother world. So when there was, they thought money was being stolen or this and that, he was like, we need to just
terminate,
kill these fucking guys that are stealing our money. So now it went from this college educated fucking preppy looking dude to now we're gonna start putting fucking hits on people.
Yep. And he was accused of 6 murders.
Yeah.
6 murder for hires.
Yeah.
None of them actually being used in court and or the trial.
Yeah.
But he is still facing life in prison plus 40 years, no chance of parole.
Yeah.
Variety Jones has just been sentenced to 20 years.
20 years
in jail for him being co-command of the Silk Road.
And you can also go down the road too of there were so many different policing agencies.
I think you had the DOJ was the last one, but then you had FBI, Homeland Security, DEA, ATF, and then IRS.
Yeah, and even the IRS was involved in this shit.
And the guy from the IRS is actually one of the most impressive agents that was actually able to finally get a name.
Yeah.
He was the first one from his research, and which I thought crazy was about this, and I hope we're not going too far in the story, but I think hopefully people get the picture, is that Ross Albright, he ended up, meeting this Variety Jones after making the website. Variety Jones is actually the one that gave him the nickname of Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah.
That would be from The Princess Bride, and I don't know if we've seen that movie in a while. I know I have.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
But supposedly with Dread Pirate Roberts,
it's a character name from that movie.
Yes.
That Variety Jones gave to Ross Albright. So now he's running by that name.
But it was supposed to be because in the story of Dread Pirate Roberts, it was a backup. Like Dread Pirate Roberts, the name was a way to cover his tracks.
Yes.
It was a name that was created because I guess in the movie that Dread Pirate Roberts isn't always one guy. It gets handed down.
Yeah.
So that was the whole backup story, is that, I'm not Dread Pirate Roberts. I used to be. And then I made the website and gave it to him, and all he said that his name was Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. That was his backup story.
Yeah.
And which will later come and bite him in the ass, but...
yeah, and I mean, there's so many twists in this story. I mean, you have... I think how it kind of started to unfold was they found one ecstasy pill.
Jared... Turkegan or something like that.
Well, he was with Homeland Security also, right?
Yes, and
so he found one ecstasy pill, or somebody found an ecstasy pill, and they got a hold of Homeland Security. Well, after it was all said and done, they were like, it's one ecstasy pill, who cares? But they felt some kind of way about it. So at the end, that guy ended up having like 3,000 different envelopes that they seized.
Because didn't he go to the guy's house? He went to some guy's house, and they were like, "Oh, he's not here right now." But oh yeah, I know. We do drugs together. We get it from the Silk Road. It's a website you could get anything from.
Yeah.
And then Jared was Jared. I don't want to fuck up his name. Jared, what is your name? Well, and Jared. Out of Homeland Security.
Yeah, that's his last name. Jared from Homeland Security. Not
Jared Duryagian. That's your name, buddy.
So, I mean, there was so many, like I said, policing agencies involved. And then you have a couple police officers that fell into the trap of...
They made contact with...
Yeah, there's millions of dollars to be made for you guys also.
There were one specifically, Carl Force. I feel like we're getting off track. I feel like we were talking about something
No,
before.
we're good.
No, we're good? Okay. So Carl Force, like we said, with all these agents coming in, Carl Force out of the Baltimore DA office, what he decided to do was go undercover and pretend to be a Mexican drug smuggler or whatever with an eye patch. Like he made a fake identity all for this guy.
Yeah.
But then he goes into talking to Dread Pirate Roberts, working for him, all this, and ends up really liking Ross pretty much.
Yeah.
To where he gives up being a fucking agent pretty much and goes rogue.
Yeah.
He ends up siphoning money from the Silk Road at some point. Him and another guy. Because like we said with the power that this guy, Variety Jones, with the hit on murder, the first one that he tried to do happened to be after Knob and or Carl Force, the Baltimore DEA agent, sets up this huge fake deal that he contacts DPR Ross, and he's like, hey, I have a bunch of cocaine or whatever, we have a bunch of cocaine and I need a buyer.
Yeah.
So they find this guy, Curtis Green, this chubby guy in, was it Ohio or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah, and some middle of nowhere, and he's they basically, like, the fucking text logs are fucking so weird. It's like, hey, we found a buyer for you. He's like, oh, cool. He's like, I don't think it's going to make it through the USPS. He's like, I'm going to send my goons. It's like, how do you not know this guy's a cop?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, good news, everyone, I found one. You know, he's like, I'm sending my goons instead, okay? And, you know, this is for 1 kilo of coke.
Yeah.
So they take it to him or whatever, and it's all cops, obviously. So what they do is
it's a setup.
Yeah, it's a setup. So they
sting operation.
They fake fucking. And what's funny is, like, did you know that the guy delivering the package, like he dressed up as a U.S. post office, but the fucking agent was mad. He's like, this is never gonna work.
Yeah.
And he's like, all he did was put on a fucking hoodie that said USPS, didn't change his clothes at all, looked like a complete cop.
Yeah.
Dropped off this package, and then Curtis Green comes out, grabs a package, throws it in the trash.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, if you would have just waited, like till overnight or some shit.
Yeah.
And just fucking let it sit. I mean, I'm sure they would have just kept on watching him.
Yeah.
Probably. But there is nothing they could have.
Yeah, and they said he came out like 5 minutes later.
5 minutes later, grabbed the package.
And then they raided his house, and he had fucking cocaine all over his face.
Yep.
He just started partying right away.
It's like, yes. But they ended up basically turning this guy, and while they're arresting him, they take his computer, and Curtis Green actually had administrative roles within the Silk Road. So he was able, Sean Bridges, which is the other DA agent, and Carl Force, the two DA agents were there. They took the computer. Sean Bridges is the first one to steal, $250,000 from the Silk Road, siphon it.
Yeah.
Send it to account of his. And then Carl Force, who is, kind of already, I don't know if he's going rogue yet, but he's kind of on the verge of going rogue.
He's on the fence about it.
He's on the fence. He's talking to Ross a lot, DPR a lot, but basically, Ross finds out that he's been arrested and all this stuff, and he contacts Knob and Carl Force, and he's like,
who's a DEA agent,
and says, I need this guy dead. I need him dead or kill him. He knows too much. Just don't do it in front of his wife and kids and all that. And this is some of the so here's like actual text logs from him, to where it's like, the employee got busted. Also, he stole funds from Silk Road users. Beat him and get the money back. Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Short but sweet.
Yeah. And then again from DPR, he says he knows too much. He's been involved too long. Kill him. DPR agrees to pay $80,000 in 2 installments for torture and murder of the employee.
For only 2 installments of $40,000, you can go kill somebody.
DPR asked for a status update. It seems that Carl is telling DPR, send the money stat.
Yeah.
DPR then sends half of the money, $40,000, and he says, pics or it didn't happen. Also, again, he knows way too much. DPR confirms with Carl, definitely kill him, but not in front of his wife and daughter. And then this is where I feel like you should immediately know it's a cop.
Okay.
Like, this is Carl to DPR. Chillax, bro. We're torturing him for you. And then he proceeds to send pictures of the employee's torture. And then again, he texts, oops, he died while being tortured.
Yeah.
And then he sends a fake picture of him dead.
Yeah.
And he says, yo, he's totally dead and everything. Body's gone. Don't even try and look for him. For serious, bro. Also, more 40K, please. And then he sends the $40,000.
Well, I like how they said, to make it look legit, get a can of Campbell's soup and dump it out next to you.
Yeah, because the whole time Carl's texting Curtis Green like, hey, you got to send us a picture of you dead. So put your almost drown yourself and then pour fucking Campbell's soup in your mouth.
And he had his wife taking the pictures.
Yeah, dude, I thought that was the most embarrassing thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have your wife take the picture.
Hey, honey, are you busy right now?
Yeah.
What I need you to do is take up pictures of my dead body with soup next to me.
It's for my friends. They're just joking around. I lost a bet.
Yeah. I lost my fantasy football team bet.
Yeah. Because what's crazy is he ended up going to trial and everything, and because of the torture and crime that these crooked fucking cops did, they ended up giving him time served.
Yeah.
Which is definitely right.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, this is just such a crazy story.
There's so much, like, again, little details, little people that Ross has came across, little vendors, little workers for him, that it's just so many different side stories to the whole story. But again, we're just trying to get through the story in the best way that we can. But yeah, so like we said, during this whole thing of this Variety Jones and all this, the murders or whatever, Carl Force and then Sean Bridges, they end up stealing a bunch of money from Curtis Green, blaming it on Curtis Green.
Yeah.
That's why the hit comes out on Curtis Green.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just becomes, Ross changes. You could see kind of that he's believed that he's killed a man now. And that
he's tasted blood, so...
Yeah, and so now he believes that he is control. And at one point, you even have Variety Jones saying, hey, I want half and or all of it.
Yeah.
And Ross was completely thrown back and disrespected that he would even ask.
Yeah.
And you kind of see Ross turn into, or DPR, I should say. I don't know if it was really Ross. Could not be. It's all alleged.
Yeah.
But now...
what he's being accused of.
Yeah, what he's being accused of.
Allegedly.
Yeah, especially the murder part, because nothing... I mean, it's such a weird crime, to hire someone for a murder and it never happened.
Yeah, I mean, they're many states away from each other.
Yeah.
So, like, all you had to do was take some fake fucking pictures.
That's a lot of trust to have for somebody.
And I mean, and he made so much money. It was... That hit money was just a drop in the bucket.
No, he was paying ransom, like people that were hacking the website, like putting it, like allowing like you to not go on the website.
Yeah.
They were paying him. He was paying them $100,000 at a time.
Yeah,
like for anything, or even for Carl Force, who ends up creating a whole nother persona, as if he's a guy who knows an FBI agent who has information. But really, it's just Carl with all this information to where he contacts DPR and he's like, hey, I got this information, $100,000 for it. DPR would pay immediately.
See, and I mean, he was sending money all over the country, so I would like to give Ross Ulbricht credit for creating Zelle.
Yeah.
He was the first creator of Zelle.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just, I'm telling you, when I was listening to Case Files. I was listening to Case Files on Spotify.
Yeah.
And it's just, the story's just insane. You can't turn it off.
No, you can't. It's so interesting. It's it sucks because we're gonna give way more viewers to the Case File than us, but
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? No, but
But no, it's just a very this is why I wanted to talk about it, because I saw nothing on the news. Saw nothing about Variety Jones being taken down, and I'm like, this is huge. Like, this is the last guy of the Silk Road.
I
and
think probably they didn't really want to talk about it because
they feel like it's over. But
or not only that, they didn't want to promote a recreation of
I get it.
the whole dark web
But
thing.
there has been since then.
Because there's people out there that know about this. I think most people don't know about this.
No, not a lot.
But I mean, I'm telling you, man, you guys should go out there and trip out on this story because it's insane. I mean,
when you see all the task force different agents on how they were able to just get a little piece of a little knowledge when it came to just a server, an IP address, a little name, a little hint, a little clue on like just getting closer and closer to him. It's truly amazing work by the U.S. government on like within 2 years getting him. But at the same time, it's amazing that somebody for 2 years was able to evade the police and create a drug empire that was able to accumulate $1.2 billion.
Yeah, I don't.
And that was at Bitcoin at that price. If it was now, it would be over $50 billion. It is insane how much Bitcoin has went up, obviously.
Yeah.
But, it's a lot of money. But one of the most interesting when it came to the whole, like, law enforcement trying to catch him, one of the clues, like we talked about earlier, about how he posted with these Altoid names on these forums. Mm-hmm. So
that was his username when he first started.
Yeah. So obviously the fucking government, you're posting on these forums that are on public internet.
Yeah.
So the dark web is something something different. It uses the Tor browser, which becomes the dark web. So you can't search it. You can't go on the Silk Road just by going on Google. You have to it's a bunch of shit to get to the dark web. But this guy, when he was trying, Ross was trying to promote the website, he posted on these regular, what they call it, the clear net, the regular internet. They put him on, he put him on it, and all it took was this IRS agent, Gary, what was it, Gary Clark? Gary Alford. He was able to subpoena these forums and being like, hey, I want to see, the user and, who created it. And one of the, he was able to see on one of the websites that it said frosty@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Which that was, what Frost called his computer as well. When they found it, it said Frosty in the corner. But there was a deleted email that he had deleted and changed it to frosty@gmail. But because of whatever, database or whatever they had, they saved at the previous address. So when Gary looked at it, it said rossalbright1@gmail.com. And that was the first time that anybody has seen the name.
Yeah.
And, he did nothing with the name. He was like, oh, this could be a coincidence. But he looked him up and he was so confused that this guy had no computer science background, nothing. He looked like a regular guy. So he didn't do it. But, he stuck with his gut. And he swore that it was him. And, from the FBI getting the servers, they were able to get the IP address from the servers, subpoena, or ask Iceland for the IP address, and they were able to basically tie it all together. They were able to find, it didn't happen until the IDs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, we are giving you guys such the shortest version.
Yeah.
Because
so
he had to travel to different countries.
Oh, yes.
He had to travel to different cities and states. I mean, it's just all over the place.
Yeah,
but it's
he definitely. What was weird is about Ross is that he lived a very odd lifestyle. He wasn't a flashy guy. He didn't brag about being the Silk Road guy. He knew how dangerous it would be. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
According to the chat logs, it seemed that he was very careful in a way. Obviously he left some little fingerprints later on that they would end up catching, like we said. But during it, he was very aware of what he was doing when it came to trying to get different identification, going to a different country to try and get citizenship.
Yeah.
Going away to his sister in Australia just to be away from the U.S. There was constant little things to where he knew what he had to do, what he was supposed to do, of like, you know, being on the Silk Road. He knew how dangerous it was. But I think in a way he got comfortable, a little reckless, you know.
Yeah. He did. He got kind of messy towards the end.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just because, I mean, obviously it was all the stress.
Yeah.
You know, he knew law enforcement was after him, and he just got real careless. But, yeah, damn. I mean, I'm telling you, I was listening to the podcast about it, and it's 3 different episodes. They're each like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. And I was just like blown away.
Yeah, especially that you know, people just like we said, people don't know about it, that it happened. It happened. You know, when Ross was arrested, he was 30 years old.
Yeah.
You know, they charged him with many different things, 7 counts, felonies, 7 felonies.
Yeah, all kinds
the
of
judge
different
threw
things.
everything at him.
And it's crazy because they gave him life plus 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
no chance of parole.
The thing that I was really tripping on is what you were showing me earlier is there's so many people, and I'm not just talking about like regular people like you and me. There's U.S. senators. There's so many people that are saying, why did this guy get...
Presidential candidates.
Yeah. There's people saying, why did this guy get life in prison? Yeah. And they're like saying, we got to get this guy out. He's already been in there for 10 years now. You know, he's served his time.
Sean Bridges and Carl Forrest, the two crooked cops that were siphoning money, got 5 and 6 years. That was their sentence.
Yeah. And Variety Jones, like you said, got 20 years.
He's probably the second most. The highest. One of the biggest drug dealers on Silk Road got sentenced, and he got 10 years.
And I mean, and all those guys are, they're probably already out now.
Yeah. Oh.
They're out. Yeah. You know, Carl and
Oh, yeah,
Sean.
they said they got out at 2022.
Yeah.
Because they got, you know, charged in like 2015 or something like that.
So they're out already.
Yeah. Out.
And, damn, Variety Jones, and he was an older guy, too.
Yeah, I think when he got finally sentenced, he was like 60-something.
Yeah, so he's going to
spend his last years.
Probably die in prison.
Yeah.
But, damn.
Because he was in a Bangkok prison for this for a while.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, for like 5 years, and he finally got extradited.
Oh, shit,
He's been in jail. Yeah, he's been in jail.
Oh, okay.
But he said he was brutally fucking, like, just fucking fucked up all the time, not fed, anything. I'm sure it's not the best conditions in Bangkok.
Yeah, well, he's going to do federal time in the United States now, so.
He gets Xbox.
Yeah. He hacks it.
It's like, yeah.
Starts selling drugs on Xbox. It's in the game.
It's in the game.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But he argued in court that he was like, all we were doing was harm reduction. Like, he tried to get real smart with the judge and everything. Like,
But, you know, if you really sit back and think about it, people are going to do drugs regardless.
Yep.
Even knowing that it's fucking, you shouldn't be doing it, whatever. They're going to do it regardless. But it does take away the fact that you have to jump in your car, go to, you know, most of the times it's in some fucked up area in some hood somewhere, and you got to go deal with some dudes that are, there's all kinds of shit going on. When you could just sit in the privacy of your own home, press a couple buttons, and wait for the good old United States Post Office to show up with your cocaine.
Absolutely.
So, I mean...
Like, that's why I believe that the United States Postal Office between 2011 and 2013 were some of the biggest drug dealers
without
in
even
America.
Knowing it.
Without knowing, unknowingly being the biggest drug dealers.
Yeah.
Like, they were Santa for 2 years.
Yeah. Delivering that snow.
Yep. But, Yeah, no, it's insane. One of the IRS agent, Gary or whatever, how he found those clues or whatever. He was talking about, which I found insane, is like, do you know how the son of Sam
Yeah.
got arrested?
Yeah. Parking tickets.
Parking ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like that's why I thought that was insane.
Yeah.
About how, and it's the same shit about how like an agent, he was like, oh, there must have been, if some guy's committing a murder in New York City, he had to be double parked or some shit. So maybe he could have possibly gotten a speeding ticket, and it so happened that it would. Which I didn't know that son of Sam also, when the cops came, he just gave himself up.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, yeah, it took you long enough.
Yeah, he didn't put up a fight.
Yeah.
No, but that is crazy though, because he started doing the research and he's seen like this guy has I don't know 50 something tickets.
Yeah.
And he looked his name up, and they went to go get him and question him, and he just gave up right then and there. Didn't even say.
Yeah.
And that was in the 70s.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but with Carl, like his whole thing was that which I found crazy. I don't know if I'm pretty sure in that they said it, to where he always read everything 3 times.
Yeah.
Because where he heard as a kid that, you know, your brain retains only 15% of what you read or some shit like that, to where he thought if he reads everything 3 times, and he said anything he read 3 times.
Yeah.
So that way he didn't miss it, which sounds like a perfect IRS agent.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing. And basically that's...
So don't fuck up on your taxes, people, because Gary will come after you.
Gary will fucking get you. But Al Capone even going down like that? Fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It's crazy that the IRS is so good. But they just look at it at a different way. Like, you know, they're not looking at the drugs. They're not looking at the crime aspect. They're like, look at what they're
looking
not
at the
doing.
number side of
Yes, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And they always get caught.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was agents from New York, Chicago, the DEA out of Baltimore.
And there was a bunch of different agents pretending to be vendors, pretending to be staff.
Yeah.
With Dread
That
Pirate
was after
Roberts.
they arrested a couple vendors, and they said, you better give up your fucking, your
Give up your
information.
account. Yep.
Yeah, give up that account information. And they would go on and pretend to be that same vendor. And I mean, and it still took them fucking a long time.
A long time.
Yeah, I mean, he's a smart dude.
He was a smart dude. I think he got clouded by the whole libertarian stuff.
Yeah.
In a way, to where it's like, you know, especially with the murder for hire, I feel like that was like, even if it didn't happen, obviously, but it's still like placebo effect type shit to your brain, to where you're like, oh my God, I'm a murderer.
Yeah.
And like, if you're going to sleep every night, you know, like, and like the whole thing is he had no one to talk to other than these 2 guys online, his staff and Variety Jones.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. He couldn't go outside and talk in person to anybody.
Yeah.
So obviously he's just in his head all day and night.
Yeah.
And 2 years he up. It's crazy because like there have been sites since then. You know, like he's not the only one. It didn't just stop. He created a blueprint for everybody, and now it will never stop. His whole goal was like, I think that Ross was like, the goal is that we fuck up the system so much that they have no choice but to legalize drugs.
Yeah.
And in a way, we're still in the same place. We'll never do that.
Yeah, he's
like,
definitely
because it's like, come on, you got to be kind of clear-headed. Be like, come on, it's not going to happen. It's not gonna happen.
And you know what? The crazy thing with all this, with all the stress and the running around, I never heard anything that he started getting high himself.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah, he just stayed fucking,
They said sometimes,
clear-headed.
On his vacations or whatever, he would smoke a little weed, have a few drinks.
But that's nothing,
when
though.
it came to working, like, he took his work serious. Like,
well, said, like, that's one of the reasons why his girlfriend broke up with him, because
all he would do is
he was on that fucking computer all night and all day.
Hiding it, and, like, that's the fucked up shit, dude. Like I said, he only told 2 people.
Yeah.
The one guy being the programmer, who he was luckily able to convince that he had given the site away.
Yeah.
Same thing, this girl, Julia Vay. I believe.
Yeah, his girlfriend.
Yeah, he met her.
His girlfriend at the time.
Met her in Penn State in some drum circle.
Yeah.
And
African drum circle.
African drum circle.
Yeah.
And
the two whitest kids in America sitting in an African drum circle,
yeah.
plotting to sell drugs online. No, but I mean, see, but that's where people fuck up. Like, he should have never told her. She never went and like snitched to the cops or nothing, but she did tell her one friend about it. And then it so happens they went to go party, and they're like, "Hey, let's get some. What did they do? Some coke."
Oh, some acid.
Oh, some acid, and she ended up having a bad fucking trip and had to go to the hospital. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, then Erica blamed it on Ross or whatever.
Yeah, and started writing on his Facebook page.
Yeah,
you know,
saying...
how do you think the authorities will feel about you selling drugs online or some shit?
Yeah. He freaked out. He was like, I gotta leave.
Yeah.
I think that's when he went to Australia then.
I mean, that's why you just fucking shut the fuck up. If you're going to be doing shit like that, you got to be quiet.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know why he felt the need to tell anybody.
It was crazy. He was building it around her to where, like, you know, she'd be like, oh my God, good job, baby.
Yeah.
Like, you did it. Oh, you put your shrooms up there. Good job,
yeah,
babe.
he thought she was just going to give fucking major props on all this.
Yeah, and be like, oh, you're the best. You're the best, babe.
Yeah. Oh my God, your site's so nice.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Oh my God, is that Molly? Oh,
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my God, guns? That is so cool.
Yeah. I mean, it even got to a point where you're like, you could buy a fucking kidney or a lung or something on there on the black market.
No, I don't think it was. They talked about it. I know in some chat logs.
Yeah, no, yeah. They talked about they were talking about it.
Yeah. You know, well, with the guns, you remember fucking...
But he did green light it, though.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, fucking go for it.
Yep.
You know, let me get a pound of fucking coke and a fucking kidney.
Yep.
You know, and a 9mm.
And
a pair of socks.
Yeah. And some, yeah. I remember, I think they have like fake watches on there and everything.
I mean,
they used to have everything and anything you could think of. But it's, you know, and one of the craziest American crimes that has happened.
That's not even talked about.
That's not talked about at all. And one of the biggest seizures when it comes to currency that has been taken.
Yeah.
Like, it's equivalent to $5 billion or $5 billion plus of how much like it fucking like accumulated.
Yeah. I mean, if that was still going on today,
it'd be $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Like you think
you could pay China off
in 2 years. Like what would it have done in fucking 10 years?
Yeah, it's amazing, man. It's amazing.
But yeah, like we said, there's a bunch of people really supporting Ross Albright on possibly, you know, clemency, getting out in a way. Seen a lot of politicians, but they are, you know, you could check this all out on freeross.org. It kind of gives a good in-depth view on who Ross is. Really, you got to see him as he is in prison nowadays.
Yeah, and if you Google this guy and you see him, you're just like, he just looks like a regular fucking Joe. No,
because what's crazy is I remember when this was happening. I remember it clearly, and I remember, you know, somebody I know going on the site, and you know, we were looking at it at the same time of during the arrests and when the site shut down, to where all we see, you know, we're refreshing and all we see is seized by FBI, DOJ, all this, and we're like, what the fuck? Close the laptop immediately. Stop what we're doing. Like, we thought they were going to be right behind us. But, you know, we weren't doing anything. We were looking. We were so fascinated with this thing. It's insane. Like, to think that you could possibly do this. And then all we're doing is Google Silk Road refresh, and all we see is Ross Albright, or Silk Road founder Ross Albright arrested. And we're like, what the fuck? Because, you know, you never, when you're on there, you're like, this is the craziest thing in the world. It's the most underground thing ever. you would think it would never be caught. Or
Yeah.
I guess you, in the back of your head, you kind of knew that they would have to go away at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was just a lot of people made a lot of money. A lot of people lost money. Since then, there's been a lot of scams. So what people would do is take the blueprint of Ross Albright, of this free trade, buy whatever you want type shit with anonymous currency. And what they'll do is, because the whole way this thing works is through an escrow system. So you go on there, you buy something. Once you get it, you release the funds. And or, you release the funds, or it automatically is released in 10 days if you don't respond, because you have to dispute within that period of time. So it's like Amazon, where it's like, oh, you didn't get your package. You have 10 days to message them being like, hey, I never got my shit. What the fuck? And then they'll,
so the funds will get released to the vendor as soon as the person got their product, right?
Yes, but you have to go on to your account and be like, finalize. I got my product. You write your review. Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't OD.
Yeah, I didn't OD. Thank you.
Well, how about that guy, Tony? There was a guy.
Tony 76?
Yeah, Tony 76. So they were having basically, it would be like an equivalent to like a Prime Day. They were doing this big old like sale on shit, but he was telling everybody, hey, I need the money up front. And it was like, I think they said $250,000. Yeah. And this guy,
they call it finalizing early. Like you have to FE, finalize early.
So and the thing is they said this guy had the best fucking ratings out of everybody, and he's the one motherfucker that scammed everybody. I believe it was $250,000. Yeah, he scammed people.
So he was the first one to do that, and now that is a common thing among these new markets, new vendors. That's what they'll do. They'll get to a certain point to where it's like, hey, with law enforcement on our backs and whatever, we need people to finalize early, free shipping now or whatever. And then you'll do it. People will fucking buy it. And then you see, oh, I never got my product. What the fuck, dude? And it's like vendors offline.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what happens. So there's been full-on markets that have done that same thing, to where they call it an exit scam. Yeah. That's what they call it. To where there was a whole market that had all this money or whatever, and like same way Ross Albright, he could see all the money. If he wanted to, he could have taken all the money, but he ran the site. So these other guys, they see all the money, and all they do is close down the site after a year or some shit, and they have fucking and so far they've all been caught. Most of them have been caught. There was a fucking Asian guy who had like fucking $250 million, bought Lambos and shit in this, living in Thailand or some shit, fucking got caught naked or some stupid shit. But there's so many cases. Like, once you look up this case and get informed about all this shit, there's amazing timelines and stuff. I have a great one that they really went chronologically on, like, when the site was created to fucking even like who was picked up as an FBI informant, like what vendor like registered when he was taken down. Like, the timeline's amazing so far, all because it's digital, it's online. Like, and that's the whole thing with online, is you're being watched. Every fucking step you make, everything you go, everything you post, it's there. Like, you're like, if you're doing illegal stuff, stop fucking being on a social media.
Yeah.
Just stop it. You're not going to
stop
do it.
Snitching on yourself.
One is self-snitching. That's all it is. I guess that's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Stop self-snitching.
Yeah.
Don't fucking sign up with some shit with your fucking name.
Yeah.
But
use grandma's name.
Yeah. Use your grandmother's name.
Yeah.
Be like, grandma's going to die anyway.
Excuse me, sir. Is your name Nancy Johnson?
No, but that bitches.
Yeah. Arrest her.
Yeah. Yeah, my grandmother's a drug addict. Get her. Yeah. But I know this isn't, this hasn't been the, an usual episode as we do, but I hope it's been, a little bit crazy, a little bit interesting in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I hope, all, the listeners out there like it. And, and the good thing about us talking about it, you can also go onto Spotify yourself and look up case files, or just Google Ross Albright.
Yeah, you'll find plenty of stuff. Don't watch any of the YouTube stuff. Don't watch other people listening to, like, talking about it. So far, I've tried to find people talking about it, and they suck.
Yeah.
The podcast, the 3-part series, it focuses on the book of American Kingpin.
And it's really good. I listened to it myself.
If you really want to, like, find out what happened detail to detail, I suggest American Kingpin. If you want it in the shortest but the most detailed fucking way you're going to get it, it's going to be the Case File 3-part series of Silk Road. We wanted to tell this story on the, the news of Variety Jones being arrested, finally caught, the co-conspirator. It's crazy that he got 20 years, way less than Ross. But it seemed like they were trying to make a point with Ross.
Yeah. First one to do it, so
no violent offense ever. First time offender.
Yeah, they threw the book at his ass, the kitchen sink, everything.
Do you think he deserved it?
I mean,
especially as a parent.
I mean,
because it also did make it possible for kids. There's the story of the 16-year-old kid from Australia.
Yeah.
To where one of his friends got some acid or whatever. He got it, freaked out, fucking killed himself. But it's like anybody could have gave him that. Anybody could have gave him the acid. It didn't have to be from the Silk Road.
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean,
that's what the thing is, free will.
I mean, you don't even need the fucking Silk Road. You can go fucking anywhere. Yeah. I guarantee you, in each fucking high school, there's at least one motherfucker who can get anything. Yes. There's at least one. There always is.
If they wanted it, they were gonna find it.
Yeah, they're gonna find it.
I think the website provided safer options. Jumping off of a how many story building doesn't sound like it was the. I mean, I'm sure like the drug had something to do with it, but it was like you did an overdose.
Yeah.
It wasn't the drug that did it to you. It was you not being able to handle the drug.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I also don't want to talk about anybody who's.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's hard, man.
The whole war on drugs. It's one of the most difficult things that.
Well, I mean, come on. The thing is too, it's always the government saying the war on drugs.
Yeah.
But it's the government that fucking they're pushing that shit in here.
There's so much shit with the CIA.
Yeah, they're fucking. Oh yeah, that's a whole nother fucking thing.
That's a whole nother.
That's gonna probably be something that we're gonna talk about next week. We got a whole story dealing with an agent, a CIA agent that. We'll talk about it next week. It's another crazy story.
It's for some of our international viewers.
Yeah, it's something that you're gonna just go, I fucking knew it. These motherfuckers, you're
gonna think we're making it up.
Yeah,
and even this story, you're gonna listen to it and think that like, how the fuck did I not know this? When did this happen?
Yeah,
and how the fuck did this happen?
Yeah,
but
I'm telling you, they kept it so under wraps. So under wraps. I mean, I don't.
Because I even asked you, I was like, "Have you ever heard about this?"
Yeah,
before?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it until you brought it.
And I only knew of it because of hanging around some bad crowd to where they're like, "This is where I get my shit from."
Yeah.
And it's like, what? And me, I was, like, I like computers. I love computers. So it was just like this was like the holy grail. Like, what the, like this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. What are you talking about? The dark web, everything, all that was news once you heard about the Silk Road.
Yeah, because I remember when you were like, the Silk Road, and I was like, I'd like to put on a nice silk robe.
Yeah.
No, the Silk Road. Yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah. So I wonder if Ross Albright's sitting in his prison cell wearing a silk robe.
You know what? I would love to. I do have an address that we could write him.
Oh, fuck. You want to be his pen pal?
I would love to be his pen pal. You going to
send him some nudes?
He actually still, I don't know what he posts on, but he actually still, like, comes out with, like, talks and stuff. Like, he'll write in a journal or some shit and come out. But
he should send him one ecstasy pill.
Yeah, just send him one pink pill.
Take that, nice. Jared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I hope, I don't know. I feel like he had something going. I feel like he definitely wanted to do the right thing, but I think money, power, I think it will get to anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely a leader in that industry.
Yeah. But I think that will be it for the Silk Road.
Yeah, the Silk Road was it's an interesting story. So,
Absolutely.
like we said, check out the book American Kingpin.
Yeah.
Who's the author on that again?
Nick Bolton.
Nick Bolton.
The Audible version that's like, actually spoken is amazing.
Yeah.
I love the narrator was great.
Okay. And also you can go on
Spotify.
and check out Case File. It's it's actually Case 76.
Oh, K76.
Yeah, and you can check that out also. It's really good. But also check us out, Irrelevance.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're here. And everybody have a great week. Appreciate you listening. And you guys have a good one. Stay safe.